What's up, bro? I know this is a little delayed, but I had taken this screenshot and I wanted to answer these questions. So, first of all, I hope you're doing well. And I just wanted to go down these questions real quick. So, first question: isn't the diet depending on the person? You know, what I've seen is that, of course, the diet is dependent on the person, but the physiology is all the same. So, here's there's always going to be individual things that we need to discuss, if I'm working with somebody. 100%. But the principles that we're working off of are going to be the same. So, for example, vast majority of people don't get enough protein. Protein is people like just associate it with like bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is new. Protein is the building block of life from the beginning of life, as we know it from the very first appearance of life. All the structures and the backbone of every chemical reaction in your body is built on proteins. So things like that. Like I would. These are things like when you look across the board, you start to see what things actually are true. That's what real science is. Science isn't like reading studies and researching like that. Science is observing what is actually happening, right? And then discovering how the laws of biology, the laws of the universe actually work. That's science, right? Um, Number two, um, dude, as far as like eating low carb and salads and whatnot, like if you don't, I don't think anybody. Here's my personal belief. Like, I've literally never eaten vegetables in my life. Like, even when I'm like telling people, over the years, I've told people to eat vegetables because people never really even consider it. We just say things. And it's probably a better idea than the massive quantities of things that people typically eat and drink. But if you wanted to eat roti, da, sabji, like, that's totally healthy. Like, I've literally done my own personal study, right? Like, 15 years I've eaten everything, keeping my calories in check, training for muscle strength, right? And resiliency. I go to the doctor and the doctor's like, because I have to go for a physical. Doctor's like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't need to be here, right? So I think 100%, dude, you can eat, especially. So here's what I think. I think what the human animal is actually meant to eat, as far as what it prefers, is meat and fruits. Especially, so like I look at like where did this particular species of animal come from, right? And so for in my mind, I'm like, that's where I came from. It seems to be meat and fruit and high sugar fruit, right? Because that's where and I'll tell you what, observing things, I feel the best when I eat. Like I don't like I feel the best when I eat like mangoes, pineapples, watermelon, and meat. Um, do I support fasting? I think fasting is a great tool. Like, I use everything as a tool. I don't make any one thing the god, right? So I think fasting is great. It helps you regulate calories. It's convenient. I think if it fits your personality, do it. Um, Your fourth question, somebody who's lighter and has super high triglycerides, I'm gonna say a couple of things. One is gonna be, I, muscle is the organ of health. You have to develop strength because that's you using muscle, and increase protein. Um, and then the third component, which I think is probably plays a huge role specifically for you is being able to find peace so that you reduce your stress. Because think about it, like if you remember, if you don't have a lot of muscle, you don't have the machinery to deal with any food that comes in. B, if you're always in a uh, sympathetic state, a fight or flight state, you're flooding your body with stress hormones and constantly. Um, sorry.
ब्रेक के बाद सारे दर्शकों का स्वागत खबरों के सिलसिले में मौके तोड़ते हैं हम खबरों का रुख करांगे यूके में जिथे आज फादर्स डे मौके इंग्लैंड के जंपर पंजाबी गायक सुखजिंदर सिंघा ने
That
अपने
message,
वीर
important
बच्चों
message.
ਨੂੰ
Sorry.
ਮਾਤਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਾਦਰਸ ਡੇ ਦੀਆਂ
Um.
ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ
Okay, so I would say the thing that's gonna really help you is finding that peace and then getting much stronger. So strength training properly. Um, and yeah, it, limiting calories is gonna be key. Um, but you gotta remember what stimulus causes change in appearance. That's strength training. You can lose all the weight by decreasing calories, but how your body looks and performs is based on what it does physically. You can look all right and have fantastic health because you're active and strong. You know, I think for number 5, you know, when somebody's dealing with that kind of emotional stuff and it literally is the cause of pretty much all illness and disease. I don't think the food is really the issue. I mean, it's going to definitely help. Um, and you can include whatever you want within a good calorie range. Um,
अपनी खबरों का रुख हम करांगे अमेरिका में
but you're absolutely right. Like, you need to hit the protein and you need to work out. And
एक कांस्य डिग्री
training and working out and just being physically active will be the fastest shortcut to starting to feel better.
जिक्र योग है कि दक्षिण
Um,
अफ्रीका पिछले साल 25 मई ਨੂੰ ਮਿਨੇਸੋਟਾ ਦੇ ਮਿਨੀਆਪੋਲਿਸ 'ਚ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਹੱਥੋਂ ਕਤਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ
you
ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ
know,
ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਭਰ 'ਚ ਬਲੈਕ ਲਾਈਵਜ਼ ਮੈਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਪ੍ਰਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ योग ਹੈ ਕਿ
if when you have like
ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁਲਿਸ
specific things happening at that moment,
ਅਸਲੀ ਘਟ ਗਿਣਤੀਆਂ
you have to make adjustments. It's like I can train if my ankle hurts or I sprain my ankle, but I'm not going to be doing plyometrics. I'm not going to be sprinting. So I have to stop doing stuff that irritates that particular situation, but then I can still do stuff and eventually I'll be able to do that again. So like, yeah, like, if you have something that's happening, you got to make the adjustment. So if you notice certain foods make you feel better, eat those foods. For number 7, like changing to dancing because you enjoy it and it feels good. Um, for number 7, here's the thing. It doesn't take a lot of strength training to like strength training is going to be you have to do activities that are fun. So that's great. I wouldn't take that out. B, it doesn't take a lot of strength training to change your body. In fact, like I've been saying this a lot, like I can get more out of 10 minutes of strength training than people get out of 90 minutes because most of the stuff they're doing, it's not the thing you're doing, it's how you're doing it. It's not the exercise, it's how you're performing the exercise. If you want to come in, like, feel free to hit me up and like come in and we'll go through some stuff and I'll show you how to get way more out of the time that you do spend because it doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't. But anyways, dude, thanks. Appreciate the questions and hope you're doing well. And if you have any other questions, let me know, man.